You know how it is. You've got a fantastic day planned ahead of you. You're coming up to London, you've got the family, and you're going to go to this, that, and the other, and you're going to have a brilliant day. You get off the train, you get up to the street, and it's tipping it down. What do? Here's 5 things. Are you ready? Stick with us. Here we go. And here comes the first place. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend coming to Hamleys because it's always packed. But if you're coming up in the summer of 2021, you'll see from this video, from the first part of it, it is empty. Normally, in the middle of summer, you have to queue to get in. But with international tourists staying away from London this year, now is the ideal time to come up here. Now, this was shot during the weekend, and yes, this is Hamleys, and I promise you we haven't got exclusive rights to get in here when the shop was closed. It is quiet. Now, if you're going to come up here during the school holidays, I do promise you it's going to be busier than this, but it certainly isn't going to be anything like it is normally. So if you want the run of the store, this is the time to come up. Now, while this piece of video was shot more recently, we're going to show you other places within Hamleys which was shot before COVID. So yes, it's one of our older videos and you can go online and see that, but just to give you a bit of an idea of some of the things that you can get here at Hamleys. And this is the part, so yes, they're not wearing masks, it's all filmed pre-COVID. Now, the great thing about Hamleys is you've got 6 floors above ground level, plus you've also got the basement, which is pretty much exclusively Harry Potter, and we're going to show you that a little bit in the video. So whatever you fancy having a look at, do come to Hamleys, but we're going to give you a tip. Hamleys is an amazing place if you want to look at any type of toy, but that's where you want to stop. I'm just going to say right from the off, this video is not sponsored by Hamleys, and if they see this, they'll probably know why it's not, because when we looked at the price of toys here, actually they're quite marked up. So you can get Lego here, go down to the Lego store and pay £10 cheaper for some of the bigger sets. So just be aware you are paying over the odds, but it's a brilliant place to come, look and see what's going on. And also it's great to see some of the demonstrations that you get from some of the Hamleys staff as well. Now, when you're thinking about the family, yes, there is a cafe up on the top floor, which is good. There's also toilet facilities as well, so another great place to know where to go when you're in London. We always love coming to the top floor with the Lego because there's some great photo opportunities up here as well, where you can pose with some of the models which they've built, some of the life-size Lego models. Downstairs in the basement of Hamleys is pretty much Harry Potter and anything related to Harry Potter, plus there's some other gadgety things down here as well. So if you've got a Harry Potter fan, this is definitely the place to come. And once again, you've got other great things for photo opportunities. So our first place we would recommend is definitely coming to Hamleys, and definitely doing it this summer purely because it is so quiet. There's never been a better time to come to Hamleys and come and have a look and play with the toys. The next place we want to bring you to is the National Gallery over at Trafalgar Square. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, I don't think the children are quite going to enjoy that. What are you talking about? Well, we've got some interactive things that we're going to show you, which you can download on mobile phones to keep it really interactive and enjoyable. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download these 2 apps, either from the App Store or the Google Play Store, onto your mobile phone, and also with your children, if they've got mobile phones, onto theirs as well. The first app we're going to look at is the National Gallery's own app. And if you look at the bottom, you've got this menu. If you go to halls in the menu, it brings you up this map. And when you touch the hall, it will bring up the paintings, and most of them that are in there, and give you a commentary about them. Now, this is part of the app, which I think is an absolute winner from the National Gallery for families. And here, under the tours part of the menu, you can choose a tour of 1, 4 or 6 hours around the National Gallery, and it will take you to the destinations where you should go to go and see within that time. When you're looking at the individual paintings, not only does it show you which hall they're in, it also gives you the picture, but also, as you can see here, when you press that red button, it gives you an audio commentary. So make sure that everyone's got headphones or a Bluetooth pair of earphones so they can really get the most out of it. Or alternatively, you can just read it. Right, let's have a look around some of the things that are here at the National Gallery. And just to start off with, some of these paintings here, which we'll show you, are over 800 years old. So it's incredible to think of the history that is there, which is impressive in itself. We'll also come back to the Smartify app a little bit later in this section. Everything is quite clearly marked out, including the directions to walk, and as you can see, it really is quite spacious, and there's also lots of places you can sit down and just look at the paintings. The great thing is you can take as many photos or videos as you want as you're going around the galleries, and also if you find that a certain section is not for you, just move on to the next one. As you can see, when you look at some of the size of the paintings against these people against them, you can just see how big they are. So if you fancy getting down to the National Gallery, it's really easy. All you do is go to www.nationalgallery.org.uk and you book your ticket online. And you're not going to believe it. Yes, it's free. You do not have to pay a penny. Although when you go to buy for your tickets, they do recommend a donation, but that's up to you whether you pay it or not. The gallery is open daily from 10 AM to 6 PM, and if you're going up on a Friday, it's actually open till 9 PM. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be really, really quiet because not many people know that. There you go, a London visited tip from us. And yes, these paintings are the original Van Goghs. So you can come up here and see some absolutely amazing original pictures all standing there on a wall. Also, don't forget, it's free, so you can spend as much time, but I'd certainly use the tour as well. And our last painting we're going to show is this, the London in the Fog. So, National Gallery, Trafalgar Square. Also, the good news is there's a cafe in there as well, so if you want to keep stopping for refreshments, you can do. Our next thing you can do when it's raining is go for a trip around London. And what we've done is we've made a circular route, so you can go around London on all types of public transport and see all the different things. As it's a circular route, you can start wherever you like, but what we've done is we've included the river bus, we've included normal buses and also underground. So for this route, we're going to start in the heart of the West End at Piccadilly Circus, and we're going to grab a tube from Piccadilly Circus to King's Cross, and that will be on the Piccadilly line. When you're in Piccadilly Circus Station, you're looking for the Piccadilly line northbound, and it's 5 stops from Piccadilly Circus to King's Cross. For your journey, the best thing to have is either an Oyster card or alternatively have a debit or a credit card which you can tap in and tap out as you're making the journey. This will make sure, providing you tap in and tap out at each of your destinations, it will make sure that you get the cheapest ticket and the cheapest price possible. When you get to King's Cross Station, get off the train and you're looking then to find the Circle line. So look out for the signs to direct you to the Circle line. When you get to King's Cross, get to the Circle line and you're going to take that to Tower Hill. It's worth pointing out that if you get to the station platforms, they look nothing like this. This is because they're filmed at different parts of the underground, but using the same type of trains. So it gives you an idea. Now you've got to be careful when you're at King's Cross because you'll be on the same platform as the trains that go on the Metropolitan line round to Aldgate, or alternatively the Hammersmith and City line, and if you take that line you could well end up in Barking. The platform indicators will tell you which train is coming in next. So when you're getting on the Circle line, you're taking a train for 6 stops and that will take you to Tower Hill. When you get to Tower Hill Station, you're going to come up and out of the station because you're going to walk to Tower Gateway Station, which is no more than 2 minutes, but it also takes in the views of the Shard. As you can see here, it will also take in the views of the Tower of London and Tower Bridge. At Tower Gateway Station, you're going to get the Docklands Light Railway. So grab a train from here and you're then going to take that to Canary Wharf. Now, because this is the end of the line at Tower Hill, you will have plenty of time, or you can catch the next train, to walk to the front of the train. And if you do that, when the train goes, you can actually pretend you're driving the train, because of course the Docklands Light Railway doesn't have drivers. Canary Wharf is 5 stops away on the Docklands Light Railway. But once again, make sure you're getting the right train, and for that you want to make sure your train is either going to Lewisham or alternatively to Island Gardens. If you get a train going to either of those, you're definitely going to go to Canary Wharf. When you get off the Docklands Light Railway, You're then looking for the signs to take you to Canary Wharf Pier, because this is where you're going to catch the river bus for the next part of your journey. You're now going to catch the river bus, and this is going to take you all the way to the London Eye, right underneath Westminster and underneath the London Eye itself. Whilst we're showing you some of the bits here, I'll put a link to the video of the full journey up in the top right hand corner. I think the river bus is one of the great ways of seeing the history of London, and seeing it from the river just gives a different perspective. Also, the great thing about the river buses are, if it's absolutely tipping it down when you're doing this route, you can sit inside and still see it from the window. The next thing we're going to do when we get off at the London Eye is walk from the London Eye Pier to Westminster Bridge and over the road at Westminster Bridge to catch a bus at the bus stop, which is directly opposite, which you can see here, which is going to be the bus 148 to take you to Marble Arch. Make sure you grab a good window seat, because as you're on this bus, it's going to take you to Parliament Square and Westminster Abbey as near first stop, so you're going to get a great view of both the Abbey and also the House of Commons. Then it's going to take you past Westminster City Hall, Westminster Cathedral, Grosvenor Gardens and also Hyde Park Corner, before going up Park Lane past the London Hilton Hotel, the Dorchester Hotel, to take you to Marble Arch, which is where you're going to change for the next bus. When you get off at Marble Arch, you're going to then need to find the bus stop outside the front of Marble Arch Station on Oxford Street. And here you're going to grab the bus the 159. On this, I'd suggest you get up to the top deck, because this bus is going to take you all down Oxford Street, then down Regent Street, all the way to Piccadilly Circus. So you've got some great views of the shops and the West End. Then you'll find you're back at Piccadilly Circus, right where we began this route. The journey time is between 1.5 and 2 hours, and it's a great way not only to experience London and keep dry, but also get on all the different types of public transport that you can in London, with the exception, I suppose, of a taxi, but you could always throw that on at the end if you wanted to. For our fourth place to go when it's raining in London, it's got to be Waterstones at Piccadilly. Floors and floors of books to keep absolutely everyone entertained. And with a cafe in the basement as well, you can stay there for hours. Literally a 1-minute walk from Piccadilly Circus tube station. It's easy to get to and you can't miss it. But as I said, there's something for everyone. The second floor alone is for children's books. Whilst you can expect Waterstones to be busier than this when it starts raining, once again, because the international tourists are away, it's still going to be a lot quieter than it normally is. So once again, it's a great place to camp out. Here in the lower ground floor is the basement cafe. Now, not only is this a great place to come and get refreshments, but of course you can also come down here with your books and you can sit and have a good look at them whilst you're sitting in the cafe. And who knows, whilst you're here, you might want to pick up a book on London. Our final thing to do in London when it's raining once again involves going on the Underground, but this time for something completely different. And here at Stratford you can see the first of the mazes. Now let me tell you more about these. Each of the Underground stations, all 270, have a different maze, and they're all situated somewhere within the station. Quite often they're behind the ticket barriers when you've gone into the station. Each maze is completely different and it's all numbered, and I'm going to tell you more about the numbers in just one second, but they were introduced by Transport for London to celebrate the 150th year of the Tube. Now the game itself is to see how many you can spot by going through, and you can see here each one of them is individually numbered for each station, so this is number 134 of 270. Each maze is completely different, and this one you're looking at here at Gloucester Road is number 236 out of 270. And there is a significance because each station has a different number out of the 270, but they relate to something specific. There is a Guinness World Record for beating the Tube Challenge, which means you have to go through every single station in the quickest possible time. Now, when the record was done and these were put together in 2009, the record was 16 hours, 44 minutes and 16 seconds. And the number on all of these individual mazes represents the number of the station that the Tube Challenge took. So number 1 would be their starting station, whereas 270 would have been their finishing station. So you can then see which order it was taken in. Now unfortunately, since these have been put up, the world record has been broken again in 2016, and half an hour was taken off the time to 15 hours and 45 minutes. Now I can speak from personal experience because I've attempted this world record and missed it by 3 stops, thanks to the beautiful Northern Line breaking down when I attempted it. Now this is a great bit of family fun, and of course because you're actually going between stations and popping up and finding these mazes, you're not tapping in and out, so it all counts as one journey. So why don't you have a go and see how many of these mazes you can spot? Alternatively, if you're just travelling around on the London Underground system, make sure you catch each one of them as you go, and as you can see they are completely different everywhere you go. The other great thing is if you can't find it, ask the London Transport staff. They will be able to point out where they are. Well, they can in most cases. Well, quite often when you're in London and it's raining, it's hard to know what to do because everyone sorts of heads to the same sorts of things. So hopefully this has given you 5 different things that you can do when it starts raining in London, so you can still have a great time whilst you're up there. I think for us, once again, the riverboat has to be one of our favourite things because it doesn't matter what the weather's doing, you still get amazing views from the Thames. Whatever you're doing when you get up to London, I hope you have a great time. And if you want some more ideas of things you can do with children when coming up to London, I've put a playlist up in the top right hand corner. So if you click on the videos there, it'll give you some more great ideas.